Good morning. Welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Thursday, February 4th, 2010. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. It's 4:30 p.m. in London. In Mexico City, it's 10:30 a.m. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL Instant Mail address is CATEX-TV. There's a major winter storm approaching the northeastern United States. Blizzard warnings have been put out in Washington, D.C. for tomorrow, possibly as much as 20 inches of snow coming in. We're scheduled to go to London Saturday night. I'll be doing the show live from there next week. At some point over the weekend, we will get there. So you'll see me tomorrow, and then you'll see me on Monday. On this day in history, in 2004, this is most interesting, Facebook was launched as a social networking site limited to Harvard University students. That was 6 years ago. Everybody's on Facebook now. Well, we'll now go to our main news. The main news, once again, as it seems to be every day, Toyota. Toyota is now saying that the whole recall of the Camry and the other cars is going to cost them approximately $2 billion. Well, they have a new problem. They acknowledged yesterday that they have had problems with the brakes in their Prius hybrid vehicle. Toyota said that they had corrected problems with the anti-lock brake system in Priuses sold since late last month, including those shipped to the U.S., but Toyota was still deciding what steps to take to fix the problems on Prius cars sold in Japan and overseas before last month. Complaints about braking problems in the Prius, the world's top-selling gas-electric hybrid, have been reported in the U.S. and Japan. They've amounted to about 180 different complaints now. This is the reason for the flaw. It requires a software programming change to correct. It makes the brakes momentarily unresponsive. Toyota was checking to see if there were reports of similar problems with other hybrid models, though they use a different braking system than the Prius. Whether a recall is necessary for the Prius is still undetermined, according to Toyota. However, the Japanese transport minister is urging Toyota to consider it and is ordering an investigation. According to Toyota, the time lag for brakes kicking in felt by drivers stems from the two systems in a gas-electric hybrid, the gas engine and the electric motor. This is a big problem in the United States. Even though Toyota did report some profits for the last quarter, they're definitely facing a gigantic rebuilding image on their public reputation. News from Bermuda that the insurer and reinsurer White Mountains has triumphantly returned to the black in 2009, mainly due to investment gains and a pretty good storm season, good being no claims. White Mountains recorded annual net income of $470 million. It differs dramatically from a loss of $555 million last year. That's a pretty big swing. Earned premiums did dip about 3%, down to $3.6 billion, but the decline was offset by a 15% reduction in claims losses, down to about $2.1 billion. Net investment income narrowed to $272 million for 2009 from $410 million, primarily due to lower overall portfolio yields as well as aggressive shifting to lower yield, safer investments. But there were net realized and unrealized gains of about $400 million to report. In 2008, this sector reported $1.1 billion in losses. So they're pretty pleased down in Bermuda. Also, they're pleased over in Zurich. Zurich Financial Services has issued a solid set of fourth quarter and full year 2009 results. They've exceeded analysts' expectations. Zurich generated an increased business operating profit and net income after tax of $5.6 billion and $3.2 billion U.S. respectively in 2009. In 2008, that 5.6 contrasts to a 5.1, and the 3.2 in net income contrasted to a 3 billion even. On the back of this growth, Zurich is proposing a gross dividend of 16 Swiss francs. Analysts had been expecting a dividend of 13 Swiss francs. 2008, Zurich paid out 11 Swiss francs. Zurich said the net profit for the 3 months to the end of December went up to $1 billion from $205 million a year ago. So they're pretty pleased. They're also pleased down in Philadelphia. Health insurer Cigna has posted a better than expected quarterly profit. This morning they put it up, helped by the performance of its reinsurance business. That business offset weaker than expected results for its international segment, which is a major area of focus now under new management. Cigna, one of the largest U.S. health insurers, backed its profit forecast for 2010. Cigna's results follow substantially quarterly earnings beats, that means they beat their expectations, by rivals such as United Health Group and WellPoint. Overall, an analyst said Cigna's fourth quarter results were good, but not as strong as either United's or WellPoint's. Cigna's fourth quarter net income was $330 million. That compared with a net loss of $209 million a year earlier. Cigna's reinsurance businesses posted a profit of $9 million against a year ago loss of $179 million. And some news from Tallahassee. This is Governor Charlie Crist. He, of course, is running for the U.S. Senate seat down there this year. Governor Crist announced that he would veto legislation that would allow specified insurers to use rates for homeowners insurance that would not necessarily be subject to approval from the state insurance department. The bill has not passed the legislature yet. The legislative session hasn't begun yet. However, the governor said that he's on record as saying that he will not support legislation that increases home insurance premiums. The consumer groups reacted very favorably to this news. Consumer Federation of America's Director of Insurance, Bob Hunter, whom we have interviewed on this show, said in a statement, "It is outrageous to claim that this bill falsely promises consumer choice when its purpose is to let insurance companies charge whatever high rate they want with no consumer protections in a market with virtually no competition." Hunter concluded by saying the bill is an insurance industry wolf wrapped in consumer choice-like lamb clothing. Good choice of words by Mr. Hunter. The bill would have allowed homeowners insurers to charge rates not approved by the state insurance department if they met certain surplus requirements. No longer, the governor will veto it. The U.S. Stock market in New York is down about 180 points right now. We'll go to a word from our sponsors.
You may have already seen the demonstration of the CATEX Global Exchange in action. Some of the features of the exchange and our Pivot Point 2 software are especially useful to facultative and excess surplus lines brokers and markets. Here, we see the opening page of the contract workspace, which shows some of the details of a facultative risk as seen by the listing broker. Behind this opening page are screens which provide details of the contract of certificate, details on the parties or markets on the certificate, details of the exposures on the certificate, including aggregate data of the underlying risks, details on each of the insured risks, policy or certificate documents, including document templates, as well as automatic email links. This screen also provides links to details of the layers for brokers, the at-risk markets, premium information, policy accounting statements, the policy claims history, endorsements, and contract documents. The Pivot Point system is the backbone of the exchange platform. Pivot Point provides easy input of data as well as seamless structuring of the data into policy documents, accounting records, and statements, as well as underwriting criteria. The system allows brokers to focus their efforts on where they bring their clients the most value added, determining the appropriate layers and selecting the markets which are appropriate for the risk and layer. In these markets, timing and access to data are especially critical. For example, in a risk involving numerous properties, a broker will likely have a data file listing the properties subject to the risk. The system allows brokers to easily upload data files to the system. The exchange allows brokers to offer the risk and make sure the data are available only to markets authorized by the broker. The exchange software automatically converts the uploaded data to structured data. Markets which are interested in reviewing the risk can easily use the data to underwrite the risk. We are working on providing links to a third-party risk assessment firm which will be able to provide property-level risk of loss calculations. These are only some of the features which make the CATEX Global Exchange and our Pivot Point system especially useful to brokers and markets in the facultative and excess and surplus lines business. Please contact us for a demonstration of all the advantages you can get from the CATEX Global Exchange and the Pivot Point system. CATEX, an unfair advantage unless you are trading with us.
Well, we're beginning to get some hard numbers now on the devastation of from the earthquake in Haiti 3 weeks